Namaste. Let's go deep into the Neo Hinduism. Today, by Neo Hinduism, I mean a new approach, new way of approach to religion and spirituality. Today, we will probe into the difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is a natural thing, but empathy is something that you create in your mind. You feel sad when something happens, something tragic happens to a person. Then you feel sympathy for it. You become sympathetic, but you don't become empathetic. You are reading a newspaper, and in the newspaper there is a news which touches you. A small child fell into water and died. Then after reading it, you will say, that was very cruel. That is really sad, a tragic thing, a small baby dying in the water. You feel sympathy for that baby. You feel sympathy for the parents of the baby. That is natural. But empathy is different. Sympathetic is one thing, empathetic is another thing. If you want to grow in spirituality, in the dimension of spirituality, you have to become more empathetic than sympathetic. It was in my college days, I think, when I was doing my pre-degree. I should be 17 or 16 at the time. I read the famous novel Cancer Ward. And Cancer Ward was a new novel at that time. It was written by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, a Nobel Prize winner, a great novelist. He has also written very famous novels like Gulag Archipelago, and his Red Circle is also very famous. All his novels reflect the pathos of communist rule, how people suffer in the totalitarian communism. In India, we can't say that communism is a sort of dictatorship. Because we are more connected with democracy. But in communist countries, the democracy doesn't exist. So the party will be ruling, party will be deciding everything for you. And if you are thinking against the party, you will be put in a concentration camp or even in a cancer ward. Alexander Solzhenitsyn was treated as a cancer patient. And he had to suffer a lot from this hospital. He actually didn't have cancer. But the party decided that he should undergo the chemotherapy and all that. That's how his novels came out. It was against communist rule. That won a lot of attraction. Well, in Cancer Ward, there's a scene. A small boy is there. He's a hero. And they have amputated his leg. He has no leg now. And he's lying in the room, lying on the bed. And a beautiful girl of 15 or 16 years peeps into the room, sees the boy, and she comes in and talks with the boy. Then the boy explains what happened to him. He had cancer in the leg and they removed the leg. Then the girl said, "Why did you allow it? Why did you allow the doctors to cut away your foot, your legs? You should never have. Then how can you play? How can you walk to your school? Why did you do it? Then the boy smiled and said, otherwise they said I would die. So the cancer will spread into my other organs and I will die. So to save my life, my parents said it's better that our son lives without a leg. Then she said, it is cruel, very cruel of the doctors. And then the boy asked her why she has come to such a hospital. Then she said, I have a problem in my breast and they're examining it. I'm sure that there won't be any problem. So I'll be getting the results in a few days and I'll be going. Thus, the girl met the boy. After one week, when the boy was in his bed, the parents had gone out. The girl came again. This time she was totally desperate. He came and sat near the boy. The boy understood that she is in real gloom. And the boy asked, what happened? Then she opened her blouse and showed her beautiful breast to the boy. That was a really surprising twist in that. And she cried and said to the boy, you see how beautiful is my bosom, how beautiful is my chest. And the small boy nodded, yeah. They are going to remove those breasts. I have got cancer. See, very touching scene it is. And the girl is crying and the small boy is trying to give comfort to her with good words and all that. Of course, this story will touch you, I'm sure. That will create the waves of sympathy in you. You feel so unhappy. Such a misfortune that the girl has to suffer from cancer in this young age, and the girl cries, how will I go for swimming again? Will there be any future for me? Will men marry me? Such questions. But your heart is sympathetic, your heart is beating. Sometimes you may say, oh, it is her fate. Or sometimes you may say, why the God is so cruel? Why should the God punish that small, young, beautiful girl who is in the teenage, who has a lot of dreams, with this dirty, cruel disaster? There, the sympathy ends. It's just a news for you tomorrow. You may be upset for some time. Some people, they will be affected by the story for a few days even. But that's only sympathy. Suppose you have empathy, then you will start thinking in this pattern. What can I do to help such people? Then that is empathetic. There are a lot of people who have no food. Once my guru told me, you should never pray to God for anything. Never pray for anything in this world. I was confused. I asked my guru, but if I got something to get, I should pray to God, isn't it? Examinations are coming, I want good results. So naturally I will go to a temple and pray to Lord, oh Lord, give me very good marks and all that. That's natural. When I get ill, I have to pray. And when suppose my relatives or my friends, they become ill, then again I do my puja and ask God to help them. But you are saying that I should not pray for anything. Then he said, see, you have 3 times food, isn't it? Then I said, yes. And you have got 2 pairs of dress? Yes. said, yes, more than 2. And you have a safe place, a safe room to sleep in the night? And I said, yes, I have got a room to sleep. Then don't pray to God for any other thing in this world. Because millions of people, they see these dreams of having food, proper food every day. They want a new cloth. They don't get for years. They have to walk kilometers and kilometers to get a cup of water. They are starving. They don't have a safe place to sleep. Even now in India, I will even say in Kerala, many mothers fail to sleep because their house is not safe. Their girls are there, they are not safe. Even in Kerala it is so. So millions of people dream food, they dream a new cloth, they dream a safe place. What right you have to ask for other things? Don't ask God for anything. That's true. Millions of human beings are starving for food, they don't have a good clothes, they don't have a place to exist, they don't have a space in this world. And you are praying for God, praying to God that you should have a new house, a new car, your children get admission in the medical college. How dare you do it? That's what the Guru says. That is true. You should have the empathy. I will define empathy as the attitude to help another person because of sympathy. Sympathetic people are always, oh, it is very bad. When I heard the news, I felt so sad. I didn't even take food for 3 days. What's the meaning of refusing food when you hear about a very unhappy person's life incident? Try to help them. You can help them in many ways. Many people think that, oh, I don't have, when I say help them, I should give money to them. I don't have the money. Everyone has the money. Even a beggar will be able to keep 10 rupees per day for other people. Making it a habit is the most important thing. Not that when you get a salary raise, you are giving 1,000 rupees to an orphanage. No, every day, just calculate your earning. If it is 100 rupees per day, 10 rupees you pay to the poor people. The poor children in orphanages, the old mothers suffering in old age homes. Thousands of people, they don't have a chance to learn because they don't have money. There are so many families suffering from members who are drug addicts and liquor addicts. Try to help them. If you have 1,000 rupees, give 100 rupees per day to poor. If you have 10,000 rupees per day, give 1,000 to them. And if you have got 1 lakh rupees per month, contribute 10,000 rupees for others. That is empathy. You are doing something to rectify things. I am not following the dictionary meaning of empathy. I am trying to interpret it in a new way. So, this way or this path of sharing the unhappiness of another person is absolutely necessary in spiritual life. If you just earn for yourself and your dreams, your family protection and all that, you are still showing sympathy to others, that is just sympathy. Has no value. Once an atheist, he was speaking to a guru and he said, if there is a heaven and if there is a God and if I see him after my death, I am going to do one thing. The guru said, what are you going to do when you meet him? I will just catch his collar and ask him, why there are so much poor people in this world? Why? Why there are people who exploit young children? Why there are so many drunkards who destroy their families with their drinking habit? Why there are so many parents in this world who live a very unhappy life after sacrificing their whole lives for the children? Why it is so? Why there are so many discrimination in religion and color and all these things in the world? Then the Guru said, you're going to ask the God about these things? Then the thief said, yes, the first thing I'm going to ask is, if you're the God, why you created all these things? So many people die of cancer, die of COVID, why it is so? And the Guru laughed and said, no, you won't get a chance to ask him. And the thief says, why? Because before you asking this question, the God will ask the same question to you. What did you do for rectifying these errors? What did you do to help the orphan people? Why? What did you do? You are in the earth, and could you control the destruction of nature? You were given all the facilities, you were given all the intelligence and everything, knowledge to support the nature, to protect the nature. Did you do? No. Did you help others? Did you try to cure the diseases of others? Help them to cure? No. And you never showed any responsibility. You had no empathy to people and just sympathy. That won't work, Sonny. That won't work. So, have an empathetic mind. There are a lot of sufferings around. Even just sitting with a patient for some time and talking to him, motivating a person who is in depression, helping a person to get a loan, all these things are great things. You may be a doctor and you can do a lot of things for the patients, poor patients. Many of the doctors think only of money. They want only money, and they are like worms who live in cow dung, according to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They twirl and twist in money, and the whole world ends for them one day. The doctor will run away along with the person, and he will be very sad in the evening of his life. So, now you have time, now you have health, now you have money, anything. Even you can just go to a poor family and sit on the veranda and talk to them and try to help them some way. That makes you empathetic. That fills your mind with empathy. You have the guts to use your money for others. If you are a slave of money, you will only try to help yourself, your family, you will say. But that's a very low grade way of living. The most wonderful way of living is living as an empathetic man, a person who listens to others, to their problems, and doing whatever they can. Whatever a person, see, you do whatever you can to help others. Then you become more spiritual. Otherwise, you are just a living animal. You are just a Homo sapien. Namaskar.